All right, we will call the meeting to order, and we'll start out with the approving the agenda. Is there any corrections?
Mr. Chair, there's one addition under Tim Erickson, a resolution for contract final 2025 liquid calcium chloride. And we are starting with Resolution 2556 today.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Shane.
I second.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All righty, and then we'll approve draft minutes from the July 15th regular meeting.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
Thank you, Charlie.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Anything else? Lene, please.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All righty, and then we have Joe Szymanski. Pretty close, pretty close.
Hello, can you hear me okay? The microphone on? Nice job on my name, by the way. It's Joe Szymanski. I am a risk management consultant for the Minnesota Counties Intergovernmental Trust, and I truly appreciate your time today. Wanted to come and meet with you, and as we do every other year currently, to connect with our commissioners and talk about MCIT, what we're working through right now, and some of the numbers-based items, and to refresh what MCIT and some of what MCIT is not. And open to questions as we go here. Don't hesitate to ask any questions. MCIT, or the Minnesota Counties Intergovernmental Trust, is a joint powers entity. We formed in 1979 with a real tough work comp market, and Douglas has been part of the program since the get-go in 1979. Long-term relationship there that we appreciate. MCIT takes care of the insurance services for Douglas and 81 of the 87 counties in Minnesota, and approximately another 400 other associated members, such as soil and water, conservation districts, historical societies, ag societies. Our coverages are tailored to governmental operations. We strive to keep the contributions at a reasonable amount. It's part of our mission statement. We want to provide enough dollars to fund payment of claims while not over collecting. And some of the things that we distinguish ourselves from the regular private insurance market, we're a joint powers entity, we're not a private organization. We don't have agent commissions, we don't have bonuses for executives, we don't have marketing budgets, and we don't have a profit motive. We want those dollars to stay with the constituents as much as possible for what our part in this is. Some of the things that, another thing that will distinguishes us from the private insurance market is our board of directors is, our board is made up of commissioners like yourself, auditors, treasurers running other counties, and they experience the same pains with their own decisions or positives. So their experience pays off.
How many on the board?
That's a good question. I could probably name them, but I think it's 7.
7?
Don't quote me on that. But I'm trying to run through it in my head. I'm pretty sure it's 7. But yeah, and there's usually an administrator, auditor, and then other commissioners fills
How
that
often
up.
do they
And there's-
How
what's that?
often do they rotate?
I think it's every 2 years,
2 years?
if I'm not mistaken. I should know that right off the top of my head, but I think it's every 2 years that they rotate, so.
All right.
The commissioners making a difference is one of the things we like to talk about. We like to, that you would encourage a lot of the things that you're already doing well. This isn't a list of things to start doing, but learning how coverage applies before final decisions are made. We do encourage you to contact individuals like myself at MCIT or others if you have any questions on coverages while you're making a decision or a unique scenario. Don't hesitate to contact us. Having your contracts reviewed through the county attorney's office, which you do on a regular basis, continue to do that to take advantage of those risk management considerations. You can also have contracts reviewed or unique situations reviewed through our risk management team also. Staying alert for data and cybersecurity threats is on the front of everybody's mind nowadays. It's just a constant battle. These criminals are good at what they do, and we're trying to chase them down. We'll talk a little bit more about the cyber piece a little later in the presentation. Other items that we like to encourage you to encourage is having a safety committee. We do have loss control consultants that will meet with your safety committee to provide structure to that and hopefully continue with your successes there. Having a return injured employees to work program, which is a big driver on the work comp side of things. Again, this list that I'm going through, I won't read all of it from the page, but things to continue doing well. On the next section, we're going to talk about reinsurance. If you're not familiar with reinsurance, in short, it's the insurance for insurance companies, or in this case, the trust. We purchase reinsurance to help out with the larger losses. We have a large deductible, or what we refer to as a retention on the reinsurance side of things, and anything over that retention goes to reinsurance for handling. And we've had some dramatic increases in reinsurance, and it continues to go up, and that's basically what this graph is showing. Property is one of the major issues that we run into. There was a 10% increase on property reinsurance, and that's due to a 13% overall increase in property values, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a second. Some of the things that MCIT is doing in consideration of this rising cost of reinsurance to feather in the effect to our members is to adjust our retentions. In casualty, we increased our retention from $850,000 to $1 million, and that saved over 20% of the cost of the reinsurance. So we kept a little bit more of it in-house. In work comp, we changed it from $500,000 to $1 million, and that saved $470,000 in premiums. So these are just some of the actions we're taking to try to reduce the effect of that direct cost increase. In the next section, we're talking about the total insured values. This is property values. Every 5 years, MCIT provides appraisals of your buildings over $100,000, and you had that appraisal done last year. So you are feeling the effects of the increased property values in the contributions, to be short. It's one of the challenges we're going through. The graph shows that property values are increasing at an increasing amount and doesn't show signs of plateauing, which is alarming to everybody. Unfortunately, we're not immune to inflation, and the rise in value of properties means rise in cost to cover said properties. In general, you have a rise in the cost of labor and materials for repairs and for building. And, as we mentioned, the other aspect of this, in addition to that, it means more reinsurance. So we're getting hit from several directions. And in short, the property values is a driver for the increasing costs for contributions.
Joe, I got a question.
Sure.
Is this replacement cost that we have on the property then?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. It's replacement costs on property for buildings, contents, and property in the open, which is your outbuildings or other structures. But it is replacement cost coverage.
Okay, and then what about, do historical buildings fall under a different set of rules?
Well, the historical buildings are covered for their rebuild cost. The only rules that apply differently is potentially through the code, but not for the insurance aspect of it. We pay the replacement costs of those buildings up to code for things that are included in that building already. So we do cover that from our end of it. So the rules are more more about the code that applies for those buildings to get them back to where they were.
All right.
Good question. Excellent questions. Thank you. A lot of negatives you're hearing here with the property and things, but there are some enhancements to coverage in the property world, which is some good news. The coverage for equipment breakdown that we purchased from or via Hartford Steam Boiler. It's like a reinsurance program. They handle the claims, and the policy that Hartford has and our coverage document that follows that had actually added coverages such as electronic circuitry impairment resulting from equipment breakdowns, cost to maintain green designation on buildings with covered losses, and some off-premises coverage also. So some minor enhancements amongst all the negatives that we hear with property. The next section is talking about the contribution rates. In short, the rates are there to anticipate costs. And if you're looking at the graph, I'm just going to address a couple of the outliers, so to speak, or the large bars. The center orange for work compensation, that large drop in 2023, just to give you a little context, is the result of COVID claims being resolved, in short. So a lot of that change was due to the COVID work comp claims. On the upper right-hand side, the 11.2% is a lot of what we're talking about. That's your property and liability, primarily driven by the property costs and the increased values, just to give you a little context about it.
So I just have a question.
Yeah,
You
please do.
mentioned COVID. And how much longer are we going to be shadowed by the COVID?
That actually is, shows that we're about over the hump on that part of it.
Good.
If you go from 2023 to 2024, you see that dramatic jump. That's primarily due to that. So that's coming, that has come to a head, so to speak. But excellent question. You want to be done with that, obviously. The next section talks about one of the positive aspects for dividend reflects actual experience. For approximately 30 years, we've been able to return a dividend, and the dividend is the extra dollars that we have to give back. Being we are not profit motivated, this is one of the value adds of working with MCIT versus the private world. We'll actually give money back when actuarially sound. So our actuary gives us the okay to give dollars back, and we do that as best we can. So we always want to have enough to cover claims and to maintain a stable operation long-term, which is an important aspect of what we consider. But if there's dollars left over, we want to return those dollars. We want the dividend to be smaller and smaller so it's less collecting on the front side, but we still have to have that stable business long-term. And you have differences in claims amounts and with investments that can make this somewhat volatile. This year, the dividend is based on work comp only due to the issues with, not issues with the challenges of the property pricing. So a solid number returned there again. Cyber claims. This graph is, the lower number is the number of claims. And it's not going to shock anybody that the number of cyber claims is increasing on a regular basis. The upper graph shows a negative followed by a positive. Obviously, you're going to draw your attention to $1.7 million in claims in 2023. That has come down dramatically to $567,000, which is obviously a positive looking trend. And a lot of that is attributable to the membership and what, all the efforts that are put into the sources of where these cyber claims come. A lot of it comes from email. 90%, give or take, comes from some source of email. And a lot of our members are putting a ton of effort into protecting email filtering, and also training the employees on a regular basis. One of the common softwares is KnowBe4 training, and just to learn to avoid those the wrong clicks. So our membership has done a good job in nipping it in the bud, so to speak, on those kinds of claims.
Mr. Chair, I got a question. So on the ransomware, if somebody gets into our system and hacks it, you'll be there to help us through that process.
Definitely. And you don't purchase insurance elsewhere for cyber in addition to MCIT?
That's a good question. Probably not.
Yeah, and I have to ask that because I don't keep up with that on a daily basis, I'll be honest with you.
So you're saying we should buy some additional insurance?
No, some do. You have the option of doing that. We never discourage from that. So we haven't run into a lot of issues with the limits that we provide. Ours is not underwritten. There are some advantages to it. You go to get private insurance too, just to have simply a higher limit. You're gonna have to be underwritten, and sometimes you gotta spend tens of thousands of dollars to do things to your systems in order to do that. And sometimes it just doesn't equate necessarily into more coverage. When it comes to ransomware, which is one of those things that's really scary to deal with, and we're dealing with it on a regular basis at all times in some claim or another. It's a matter of what's enough. And a lot of times we are able to negotiate claims or settlements for those claims on those ransomware claims to a lower number based on what the dollar amount is. These are criminals, they're looking for a quick payday. They don't ask you for a dollar amount, they ask you for how much you have. You know, and that's what they do. They want that and they want to run along. So that's one of the considerations to consider. That's not foolproof either and all inclusive, but there's a lot that goes into that decision. The fact that the ransomware dropped as dramatically as it did, that drop is almost all due to lack of ransomware, less ransomware claims.
Good, thank you.
Yep, thank you, good question. I want to move on to the next page. We're talking about the work comp contribution and what you're working with. The mod rate, if you're not familiar with a mod rate, it's a formula that we use to compute the contributions. Mod rates are used throughout the insurance industry also, but in short, it includes considerations of your payrolls for your positions and also your experience for work comp claims. So number and severity work comp claims. That all gets figured into a mod rate. The mod rate is at 1.0 for the expected amount, or what you might call an average amount. And that's the rating for your group of employees. And anything over 1.0 means you're on the higher end and maybe have some opportunities for improvement. Anything below 1.0 is a positive. Being right at or near 1.0 is a great thing. And this actually will show you the amount of dollars you save or pay more due to the fluctuation from 1.0. If you look at your history, it's an absolutely great set of numbers. Your numbers are below or right at 1.0 for several years in a row. That shows nothing but a dedication to safety, to your people, to your employees. So kudos on a lot of hard work. I truly know how much it takes at every level to accentuate safety at every level and every individual in order to accomplish those numbers. So kudos to the county on that.
Mr. Chair, so the mod rate is up over 1? They're probably.
1.003, yes.
Yeah, but
I'd call it 1,
It's
yeah.
over the average, or not, over the standard of 1. Oh, so there'll be no dividend probably in '25? Is that the way we can look at it?
Nope, the dividend is trust-wide. It's not according
it's
to
the
any
entire
one
trust.
individual. It's for the whole trust. And
Last year they had
going back to the
3.5
dividend
million.
page, it shows you what your dividend was for 41,898.
Correct.
The
But
mod
last year,
rate,
we were below 1, which is, then you pay less and all that.
yeah, it's the mod plays
We're gonna buy
into
our
it.
own dividends, what you're telling me, Joe?
If your mod rate is lower or higher, it's not going to affect the dividend directly because it's a whole trust consideration. And the dividend
Is that why there's no dividend on the property? Because I don't think we had the claims that,
again, the difference is to remember is that the dividend is for all of the members. It's not figured based on your experiences. So one other thing to remember is that with property claims and casualty claims, you're not experience rated. We don't track those. Those don't affect your contributions and they don't affect your premium. What the actuaries are saying when it comes to the dividend is the whole trust is doing well in work comp. not so much in property for this year's dividend, and they were able to give a dividend based on just the work comp. So there's fluctuation there, and like I said, there's some of the things that go into that is the overall investments in the financial markets and claims to and fro. There's a lot of play in that. Your individual property claims don't necessarily play into that. That's the whole trust. Same thing with work comp. What happens though is
It
sometimes.
does come into play, because if everybody has that, we got trouble.
Right.
Yes,
We either
yes.
all win or we all lose.
Well,
You're
and,
right.
Yeah, if we're
It's
running
a-
on the good side, that's
Yep.
what I said. We haven't had the property problems.
And that's one of the unique aspects of being with MCIT as a
No, I know.
trust.
Get
right?
more people together, it should lessen the load, but yeah,
Everybody puts in their effort and everybody benefits.
if they all put in their effort.
Yes.
There you go. That was the best part of it.
Yes, and
But he makes the effort.
I've seen a lot of situations where that dividend is or isn't where they want it to be, and comparing it against the extra cost, which just shows that the extra cost of being other than one, where their work comp from an individual county perspective, where their work comp mod rate and extra cost there somewhat eats up that dividend, so to
We
speak.
don't need to just buy our own dividend.
Say that again?
We don't need to just buy our own dividend.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
That don't make us feel good if you
We'd
look.
like to go back to 21 when we had .772. Mod.
Yeah, there's a direct aspect and an indirect aspect, whether you're
Right.
looking individually or countywide. You know, in the good years, you may feel, and maybe this is where you're going to in your mind, but in fairness, it's just like it, you know, the general look at insurance. If you have a good year, are you taking care of all the other counties that haven't? However, on a bad year, they're helping you out, and and it does work both ways. And all you can do is your best, and at the minimum, you have a direct effect on your own work comp contributions. So, good questions. I like that discussion. The next part of the presentation is claims for work comp and property liability. Now, keep in mind, this again is trust-wide. It's not for just the county. Just to touch on a few things, for work comp, you see that sheriff and jail has a higher number of claims per year, and that is not as reflective as a negative trend as much as it is just recognizing it's a tough job, it's a physical job in general, and it's a 24/7 job. The auto on the lower half shows a higher number of claims. However, the value of each claim is low. And it's one of those unique aspects of for instance, squads that we are able to absorb with the trust and keep that coverage with you. And that just helps to give you some background on the numbers. The law enforcement liability, the amount paid per claim seems higher than a lot of these other claims. And I don't know that that's going to shock anybody necessarily, that the law enforcement liability it's just the environment that we're in. And it's accentuated over the last several years. The last section, we just wanted to talk a little bit more about the value add that MCIT provides that you're not going to get from the private insurance industry. Just some reminders. You're probably going to be familiar with these, a lot of these, and just again, some reminders. The knowledgeable consultations from risk management consultants like myself or our loss control consultants on the safety end of things. This is something that we take a lot of pride in, put a lot of effort into, and again, the value add you're not going to get from the private industry to this level. The resource-rich website, I do encourage you to look at our website if you haven't lately. A lot of good resource material in there at all levels for the county. A myriad of subjects are covered in there, such as open meeting law, remoting in for open meeting law. There's a lot of great things for you there. You might have a department that's holding a benefit and has volunteers, and you want to look up about volunteers and related or work comp for that. Just a couple examples of things to that can be used by all levels. We highly encourage you to use that. Other programs, we have the EAP, the Employee Assistance Program, to help employees with issues, and your usage is high. It's on the high end, which is great. You're pushing out this service to your employees to help them out. You have 8.21 and 7.67 as ratings, and anything over 4 is considered high. So nice work on pushing that out to the employees. We have benchmark analytics with the sheriff's offices for risk management and mitigating losses, workplace injury hotline for reporting and triaging claims where you're not quite sure which way to go with treatments. Minnesota Safety Council membership is included. A whole bunch of information that you can use there from the safety end of things. Hartford Steam Boiler, they provide that equipment breakdown coverage that I talked about earlier, and with that, they also provide the pressure vessel inspections required by the state. So, in relevant training, we have seminars and webinars that we push out all the time through our newsletter and through emails, and speakers for on-site training. The Peace Officer Accredited Training Online, or Patrol, which is offered to all members. Defensive driver training also through the Minnesota Safety Council. So that concludes what I came to talk about. If there's any other questions, I'm happy to talk further.
Mr. Chair, I got one more question for Joe. Do you do any OSHA training at all?
Myself?
OSHA, no, not you, MCIT. Do they offer OSHA training?
Well, there's the loss control consultants work with the OSHA training, and they don't necessarily provide the training themselves, but they connect you with the right resources for that.
Okay.
There's a lot of the other organizations that we work with
Correct.
that we help to connect you with. I would go to Loss Control. It's yours consultants is Nick Lindberg, which I'm sure has been in touch with the county, and I know that he
Lee's
works pretty
shaking his head
closely.
back there, so,
Yeah, so he'd be your connection on that.
thanks.
All righty. Well, thank you.
Thank you. I truly appreciate your time today.
All righty.
Thank you.
Dawn, you are up next.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I'm here to present a name for a new library board member. We had a member at large who had resigned. They had some personal issues going on, so they could not fulfill their term. So we had a person step forward. The library board chatted with Dave Schultz, is who we have, and I know this reverts back to you. You have the final decision, but we are bringing a name forward for your consideration.
Okay, anybody have comments?
Well, Mr. Chair, being as I sit on the library board, I think Dave would be a great asset to the library. He was excited to get on and do it. It's at-large member, which is done by you, technically. So I'll make a motion to approve Dave Schultz to be a member of the library board.
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Shane. Thank you, Charlie. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yeah.
Meyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Short and sweet.
Yep. Stacy. Good morning.
I am asking for board action to approve assessing contracts. We do 4-year contracts on a cycle with the townships and cities, and these ones had expired, so we had sent these out to the areas for their councils to view and approve, and all of them came back. So we just need the board's approval for assessing contract renewals for townships of Brandon, Leaf Valley, Moe, Solom, and Ernest, and then renewals for the cities of Brandon, Carlos, Freda, and Nelson. And this is effective 26 through 29.
We can do them all at once, can't we?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do them all.
Can we do them all at one time together?
Yeah,
One
that's
motion?
fine.
Also move, Mr. Chair.
I'll second.
Thank you, Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Tim.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, and next we have Mr. Rush.
Good morning. I just have one item for you this morning. I have 3 landscaper excavators seeking a license, and we recommend approval of those listed.
Motion to approve excavator landscaper licenses.
Second.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes,
Motion carries.
That's it. Unless
That's
you have
it.
anything
Hey,
else
that
for
was
me?
quick.
I like it.
Record, baby.
Okay, Tim.
David.
Gotta catch up sometime anyway.
Mark this down. I'm going to take more of your time than Rush did.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Oh, good morning. Just a few items for you today. The first one is a crossing extension agreement with CP Rail. So what this guy is, as you guys are aware, next summer we've got a shared use path coming along McKay. In order to cross south of the Discovery Middle School, we need to extend that crossing. Talking with CP, the cost just to extend that is $68,442.97. The cost to replace the whole thing is $158,274.14, which they'll split with us 50-50. So we could just do the extension for just under 70 grand. We can get the whole thing replaced for just under 80 grand. So what I'm proposing to the board is that we take them up on that, and let's get the whole thing replaced.
Mr. Chair, I got a question. When would this be done? Would it be this year yet or until next year?
We're trying to get an answer from CP on that. We're pushing them to try to get this fall because we know that we're building the bridge on 29 next summer
Yeah.
as well as building that. So there will be an awful lot of work in this area. We haven't gotten anything back from CP yet.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the CP crossing extension agreement.
Thank you, Tim.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Shane. Any other questions?
Yeah, one other, and they are aware that, or you're going to make them aware, because this would be very busy.
Oh, yes.
Tour around
Oh, yes.
the Geneva Road, okay.
There's never a good time to do this.
We know.
You know, the
They can
one,
get it done this fall would be
Right.
really good, but then school starts, they're gonna say, so that's
I'm
never.
going to say that was just what I was about to tell you. That's the drawback of doing it this fall is school's in session.
All right.
Lene, please.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes,
Rapp.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All righty.
Thank you. Next item that I have for you, excuse me, is a resolution for XF 46 speed study. We've got MnDOT looking at a good stretch of 46. This would be McKay Avenue, so going from the roundabout at 23 all the way north to 8th Avenue where the speed limit changes to 30 miles an hour. So we'll get them looking at all of it.
You're talking about the whole McKay to 30 miles an hour?
Well, they'll look at what it can support.
Right. 'Cause
So
we talked 45 or,
they'll look at what,
Two
you know,
to 30 on 8th Avenue, that's
Yeah.
where.
to the 30th, yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
I'll make a motion for resolution cash 46 speed study 2556.
Second.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Charlie. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
yes,
Rapp,
Yes.
Way.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right.
Thank you. Next item that I have is a monitoring well approval. So I got a little write-up in your board packet there. MPCA is actually looking, they're gonna, I think they've got 5 monitoring well sites that they're looking to drill, and it's just a one-time thing. They're gonna drill down. There's 3 separate layers that they wanna take some groundwater samples. They're measuring for PFAS is really what it is. So they're trying to figure out where that sediment plume is running through. They'll drill down. as they pull the drill back out, they'll immediately fill that well with concrete, so it doesn't really impact anything. It's not a casing, it's not anything like that, and it'll be set below the ground level. The reason we're coming to you as one of those sites is county property. It's where the new library is gonna be. It's nowhere near, as far as I've seen the last developments of the property, nowhere near anything that they're gonna be building on the site. But because it is county property, we felt that should come to the board for approval before they could do it.
So does the well remain usable then? I mean, they don't, they
They don't even put a casing in there. They immediately pour
I
concrete
got it.
in.
All right.
It's done.
Okay,
Why,
seems like you
in
could.
this location,
So
we have-
this is where they've come up to us. No, we can tell them, hey, let's go maybe 150 feet to the south, and it can be on the college property if you want me to tell them that.
Mr. Chair,
no,
Charlie,
I
I
mean,
think the
no,
reason.
the question is because it's because of the municipal water.
Right.
Why are we drilling a well to
They're,
check the?
they're not
aquifers?
doing it for that. The reason they're doing it is because of the gas leak from Woody's Car Wash or Mike's. They're doing
That
a
one?
follow-up and trying to see where
that
that
the one?
plume has moved,
Or is it the one from the old bus garage?
or the old bus garage.
Or
It's one or the other.
Oh, I see.
That's what they're doing. They're not checking water, they're checking for
Well, this is
contaminants.
because the location is the school ground.
Right.
I mean, it was the
Which
field
makes
in
no
front of
sense.
Jefferson, and we're not gonna, nobody's gonna drill a well.
They're checking for those two purposes.
In fact, they can't drill a well there privately, so I mean, it has to be.
Correct.
That's a municipal, that's a city rule.
That's Minnesota pollution control, that's why.
Government at its best.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the monitoring well.
Thank you, Shane.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Any other questions? Lenny?
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Okay.
motion carries.
Thank you. Next item that I have is a resolution for some quitclaim deeds. So this is something the board has already approved. When we purchased our fairgrounds property, there's that little sliver that right along the, I guess it'll be the east side of what we purchased. We cleaned all that up. One of the attorneys for one of the property owners that is receiving that quitclaim property is wanting to see some resolution from the board. We're not exactly sure why, but we're like, it's already done. So just to appease an attorney, that's kind of why we proposed a resolution coming to you. And again, the work is already done. It's already recorded. It's set.
It's already done, and now what does he want to do?
Attorney wanted to see a resolution that the board has approved it, and we're like,
Oh, I
and we said, of course, the board's approved it. It's already done.
We've already done that once, at
Right.
least.
Right.
Okay. So now you need another one.
Needs a double stamp.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 25-57.
Thank you, Charlie.
Double stamp, we'll call it.
I'll second it.
all the work
I'll
is
second it.
done. What the hell?
Anything else? Lenny?
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. We'll make sure Linda double stamps that. So next we got a drainage request on County Ditch 23. So Mike, tell them about it.
All right. So I got a drainage request from James Clone on County Ditch 23. It's just the last little piece of branch 10. There's an area in their pasture that's remaining wet, and that last about 150-foot stretch is pretty well plugged and damaged, so it does need to be replaced. They'd like a surface inlet there too. So like on that picture, it's just that wet area below that big one. The big one's gonna stay, obviously. Yeah, so a estimated cost of about $17.50. The ditch balance 1-1 was $61.72. There is a levy so it should bring in $5,557.92 this year, so there should be money there. Dwayne Waldorf has some spoils to level by Lake Ida Way. Otherwise, there's no other work on this ditch system currently.
So does that tile need to be replaced or just repaired?
That last 150-foot stretch is gonna have to be replaced. It's just a 6-inch tile, so it's relatively minor.
Board's wishes.
This is all your old playpen, isn't it?
That's Jeff's.
No, I mean the location.
Mr. Chair, one more question. Are you just gonna stay with a 6-inch tile then, or are you gonna go larger? You're just gonna replace?
By Minnesota law, we have to stay with what it was designed at, so it has to stay as a 6.
I'll make a motion to approve County Ditch 23 drainage request.
Thank you, Tim.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Lene?
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item that we have is a resolution to support an application for a county ag inspector grant. So Mike got an email from MDA, right?
Yep.
And essentially they've got, you tell them.
Yeah, so the Minnesota Department of Ag has released a grant that will fund portions of the county ag inspector positions duties. They aren't sure on the amount. It depends on how many applicants they get. It's gonna be at least $5,000, potentially more. And they just want something that shows that the board is okay with pursuing this.
I'll make a motion, approve resolution 25-58.
Thank you, Charlie.
I'll second.
Thank you, Shane. Any other questions? Lene?
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thanks, Mike, for that.
Thank you. And then the last item that I have for you, this just came in on Thursday, so thank you, Lenny, for getting this into the board packet for me, is our certificate of performance for our liquid calcium chloride, our dust control contract. Total value of work, $259,761.79. That's an underrun, because essentially we just plan on a certain gallon amount, and if we don't need that much, we don't use that much. Interestingly enough, that's about the same as it was last year. We did an underrun about that much. So we're using less and less of our chlorides for dust control, which is probably a good thing.
So the rain has been our factor here, or what?
So the rain is always a factor, especially for all of this. That's honestly, they barely got done in time, and it's because of the rain is kind of pushing them around too. Kind of like with all of our construction this year. This was Crow River Construction out of New London. They did our chloride contract last year. They did a fantastic job again. So I'd make that recommendation that we accept the completed project and authorize final payment, which is the total payment, $259,761.79.
Mr. Chair, so the original bid was 300 and some thousand?
Correct.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2559, certificate of performance for Crow River Construction and final payment.
Thank you, Tim.
Second.
Thank you, Charlie. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Jill, you are up next.
Good morning. I just have one item today, just looking for a motion to approve bills totaling $1,255,239.52.
Motion to pay the bills.
Thank you, Charlie.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. Any questions? Lene?
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
All righty. And we have Vicki Doling.
And good morning, Mr. Chair, members of
Good
the board.
morning.
I've got a couple items here. One is to request additional seasonal election staff slots, essentially. for the upcoming 2026 election year. With the implementation of early voting, we're going to need at least 6 more staff people to help with manning basically a polling place for 18 days prior to election day, both for the primary and the general election. I'm not necessarily asking for any more additional hours than what I've always budgeted for, just more people to fill those hours.
Are any of those volunteers or not?
I suppose they could volunteer without pay, but they are
Okay.
paid positions at this point.
And do you put an ad in the paper for that, or what do you?
Yeah, we post a job
Okay.
opening, just like, yep. Currently, I've got authority to hire up to 12, so I'd be looking for 6 more for a total of 18. And I budget about 5,400 hours in the budget already. I wouldn't be exceeding that. It'd just be, I just want a bigger pool of people to pull from, because they'd be working all day, every day for these 18 days, in addition to all of our other absentee tasks that we have to
Do
do.
you get alternates as well if somebody can't?
Right.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
All right, board's wishes.
Chair, I got a question for Vicky. Are you going to staff them here then? Is this
Yes.
In this area?
They'd be
Okay.
here, yep.
I'll make
We're
a,
using this boardroom as our makeshift, like our
Okay.
polling place. It's gonna have to be set up just like you would.
so then you're going to move them for our commissioners meeting?
Yep, they will have to move everybody downstairs for those few hours and then back up here again for that one meeting.
Could maybe move.
We can move.
Yeah, if you're
Okay.
willing to move, that'd be great.
Well, Charlie just suggested, write that down.
Write it down.
Lee, write that down.
I'll make a motion to approve,
We've
sorry.
used other locations for meetings before. Thank you, Shane.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Any other questions? Lenny?
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. My next one is just informational. We are having our first online tax forfeiture land auction for parcel 7202050000. This is a small vacant lot over in Evansville. It's been on our inventory list before, but it does fall within those parcels that the state has in its look-back period for the lawsuit that they were faced against. And if it's not sold during this initial sale, then we'll immediately relist it for the minimum bid that we had set. But the first sale has to be for its market value.
Is the minimum bid the $100?
No, that's what you had set it at, yeah, years ago. But now we have to, I think it's $1,100 we have to set it at.
Say. And we're probably mowing it at
We
least
won't-
every
we-
other
and-
week.
Yeah, it didn't sell for 100, so I don't know why it would sell
We got
for.
about $8,000 into it just in
Right.
expenses, okay.
So this is just one of those statutory things we have to do, so we're,
A question, can't we just give it to the neighbor? If nobody wants it.
The neighbor maybe don't want it.
Oh, that could be.
Neighbor don't want it. If I was the neighbor, I'd buy it for that.
Yeah.
$100, yeah. Oftentimes what happens with trying to persuade a neighbor to buy it is we don't often get clear title to these properties. We don't get the abstract, the deed,
We
so,
gotta recreate that.
so then that poor person has to go and pay for
They gotta
legal fees to get clear title to sell it someday. So I morally don't feel that it's right to try to force a neighbor to
Oh, I didn't
purchase
say
something.
that. I
Yeah.
just said give it to them.
Right, yeah, but it's still, yeah, we'll end up getting it eventually back again
How-
if they
how
don't
about-
want to go through the trouble.
Yeah, Vicky, can you have a raffle?
Have a raffle. I've never heard of that done, but. So that's just informative for you, that we have our first online auction. It's up and running right now if you want to go to Public Surplus and check it out. So,
Okay. That's informational?
yes.
Yep. Alrighty, I think we're done there, and we're gonna take a break first. We're gonna take a quick break and get ourselves back on schedule, maybe a little closer. Going to bring her back to order here, and we're going to have West Central Minnesota Community Actions. Missy.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. Morning. I wanted to come today to thank you for funding that you provided for our group CARES Camp, which is up on the screen in late June, early July. It was early July. We had 250 campers come to the Ashby School District, and we worked on 32 sites. So you'll see some pictures online of some transformations, but it's pretty incredible. Decks built, wheelchair ramps built, lots of painting done, and lots of happy homeowners. So it was good. We did pretty much primarily in Douglas and Grant counties were the projects. So that can just roll. I passed out my annual report to you all, and wanted to just talk a little bit about future funding for community action. In the federal budget, it's proposed to eliminate energy assistance. And our energy assistance program, as you know, is pretty vital to seniors especially, but people in your community. In last heating season, we served like 4,500, it's on page 11, 4,539 we served households. And so with primary heat, which primary heat is usually, I think the average grant is right around $600. That was 2.261 million that we served in the 7-county area. So for energy assistance, we go up to Clay and Wilkin counties, but it was just over $1 million in Douglas County. And then we have a program that kind of piggybacks on energy assistance that can repair and replace furnaces, and that was $653,000, and then an additional $836,000 to crisis benefits. So if they're out of fuel, they've utilized all their primary heat dollars, they're eligible to apply for crisis funding. So I was on a webinar yesterday from our federal office, National Community Action Foundation in Washington, D.C., and of course, they're working hard to try and get energy assistance put back in the budget. And I think I heard this right, but they said that there are 3 lobbyists from the energy companies for every congressperson in DC. So that's who this is going to hit big time, is the energy companies. And so I know they're lobbying hard for the savings of energy assistance. So that's kind of where we're at. Funding-wise, we have a threat on several lines of funding. We did lose funding for our seniors in our service territory. It was a Live Well at Home grant where we did chore services for senior citizens, and we did lawn work and deck repair, weather stripping, things like that. That was about $250,000 annually that we received. That was state funding that was eliminated, and it is sunsetting after this year. So I am concerned about seniors in Douglas County and the other counties combined. We're looking for avenues to try and be able to serve people. We spent the better part of July just informing seniors that we would no longer be coming to their home to do chore services and lawn mowing and snow removal. And so that's been a little bit difficult. We had to lay off 2 staff people in that program so far. So I'm not here today to ask for anything, but if there's something that we could work together on with the county, we'd certainly love to do that. We do get some Land of the Dancing Sky, DS AAA funding, and we do that for volunteer driver program. So we reimburse volunteers to take seniors to medical appointments and things like that. We're working with Prime West to get reimbursed for some of that mileage. So any questions on any of that? or-
Yeah, I do. I guess a question, I don't know if it's related exactly here, but like on loan programs, who determines the interest rate?
I think that would be through Minnesota Housing.
Okay.
So that's a state program.
So that's, I mean, there's a set rate
Yeah,
there?
and it's very low for rehab loan programs. Yeah, very low. Yeah. And of course, you know, we have our Department of Corrections crew still active, and we just signed the contracts for the new fiscal year. We partner with Douglas County and Department of Corrections for that. We have a new crew leader. That's going fairly well. You know, I was worried about Dan retiring, but that's going pretty well. We have a house for sale in Evansville, a house in Miltona that's about 60% done, and then we're doing a rehab here in Alec that we already have a list of people applying for. So I think those will turn over fairly fast, and then we'll be building in Ashby, I think another one in Brandon, so.
Mr. Chair, Missy, do you profit anything? Is that funding the next one? Is that what each one of them is, or?
I mean, we get an administrative fee, we call it, basically to keep Joe Niehaus, our affordable housing director, employed. You know, it basically pays for his salary. And he coordinates with the lumber yards and orders materials and does house plans and all that kind of stuff. So do we make any money?
Oh, you're never gonna make any money.
Yeah,
I
right,
get that.
yeah. That's not the
If you can-
goal
If you can
either.
fund the program.
Right, we're funding the program, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Same thing with the tax service thing, how was that coming? I mean, is that in jeopardy too?
Well, we lost Bremer funding. We always got $100,000 annually from the Bremer Trust, and about 60,000 of that went to the tax program. So we're looking for funds for tax.
Did they dissolve the trust completely?
Well, they
There's no way
changed.
they have done that yet, but
My understanding is there was some friction in the family, and they changed their scope and their mission. So it is more focused on children now. And so they did not, this last year was the first year we haven't gotten Bremer funding for as long as I can remember. I mean, we've gotten it for,
they were put on a hold when Old National had about a year to be looked at by the FDIC. I understand that, but
Yep.
I was wondering where that would
yeah.
end up.
We do get a little state money to operate the tax program, but this past season, because we lost Bremer funds, we were only able to be, and we were still in each county, but not as often. We didn't have, and we went from 3 staff to 1.5 staff. And so we have really great volunteers that really keep it running, and that's the only reason we can do it. So,
Well, that's a great service. I
yeah,
think.
it sure
Good things
is.
about it.
Yep. And there, I think it was almost $1 million of refunds that, you know, come back to our community through the tax clinic.
Is there any kind of benefits at all when you build these projects that they are not taxed, like materials get taxed?
Yeah, we don't pay tax.
Okay.
We're sales tax
All
exempt.
right, well, that's a plus.
That's a plus,
Yeah.
yep. And our community land trust is where these homes go into a trust to keep them affordable. They do get about a 25% reduction in property taxes as well, if they're owner of a community land trust. I'll just give you a little example. We built in Elbow Lake. Grant County gave us two $50,000 subsidies for 2 new homes in Grant County. And so we had $100,000 from Minnesota Housing, $50,000 from Grant County. We built a slab on grade, 3-bed, 2-bath, very nice home, kind of up by the old hospital in that development. The appraisal came in at $298,000, and her loan, she paid a couple $1,000s down, but her loan was for $112,000.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. So,
So one other thing I noticed, like this picture right here, you know, when you build something, I mean, I think anytime you paint something, you're guaranteed to repaint. I mean, they could put on siding that is,
Right.
you know, is free from,
Maintenance-free.
maintenance-free. I mean, I
The
just think,
painting program is all volunteers. We don't have funding to reside. But I know what you're saying.
yeah, I just see, I mean, paint just does not last.
No.
Anybody selling paint here? I don't know.
Mr. Chair, I got a question for, now, you were talking about that house that was appraised for 298 and she paid 112,000. Now, when they get that kind of deal on a house, how long do they have to be in that house before they can turn around, or can't they sell that house?
No, that's a really good question. I wasn't going to go that deep into it because I didn't think, I didn't want to take up so much time. But so the community land trust model is that West Central retains ownership of the land, but the homeowner owns the house. So that subsidy of 150,000 that I talked about, that will stay with the house. So it's a graduated scale on how much they can leave with. So if they stay 5 years or 10 years, the percentage of profit, increases the longer they stay. But they also get 100% of any kind of improvements they make, like, a fence or a deck or granite countertops, anything like that, they get 100%
Okay.
of their costs.
You'd get the first 150.
Yes.
So,
Because
I
then
West
because,
Central would get the first 150. that
well,
they-
the house would get it, because then we'd in turn sell it for, we haven't gotten any back yet. We've got about, I think, 14 houses in the trust.
Good.
So we haven't encountered that yet.
So being you own the land underneath that house, when that house gets sold, does it revert back to West Central?
No, we resell it to a qualified
You retain the house.
applicant. But yes, we would retain the house.
You retain the house and the property?
Until it was sold.
Yeah,
Correct.
until it's sold again?
Correct.
Okay.
So it's a good program, and we couldn't do it without Douglas County's inmate program. Like, we wouldn't be able to keep the costs down. So, any other questions? I want to thank Jeff Way for being a great board member. He's attended every meeting we've had this year, and so it's going well.
Well, one of the comment that I want to make is we've got a house built in Evansville, and it's already making comments in the city council. They really appreciate it. It really looked nice, and so hopefully we find a family to live in that home.
I think Megan's had a couple applications this week, so, yeah, and that's a split level, 3-bed, 2-bath, I believe, and the basement is almost finished. It just needs trim and doors, and so it's good.
Great, great.
Okay, thanks
All
for
right,
your
thank you.
time.
Thank
Have a good day.
Thank you.
And next is the sheriff. Good morning, Troy.
Good morning. We'll start with the easy stuff, donation. Today we have a donation in the amount of $2,000 to be designated to the K-9 Donation Fund. It's from Donnie and Jill Klimick of Klimick Brothers Well Drilling. So I'd ask the board to accept that donation for the K-9 fund.
I make a motion to accept resolution 2560 to receive the donation of $2,000 from Donnie and Joe Clement.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Any other questions? Lene?
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay.
All right, the budget is the next item. I submitted the budget, plus we always submit a supplemental with the explanation of the increases or decreases. Just talked with Jill a little bit ago. There's an adjustment to the budget in the 911 funds. Our intent is to spend down funds from that. So it'll reduce the levy by 200,000 and a couple bucks. So that'll be a nice adjustment to make there. So, and yeah, it's just the E911 funds, I think you're familiar with it. It's money that's generated through cell phone bills. When you see that on your cell phone bill, that those dollars are going to the county that your cell phone is from. So it's it's money that helps us with projects and so forth, and so that's what that adjustment is. The budget itself, I don't know if there are specific areas that commissioners or a commissioner would like to ask a question about. Of course, the largest increase in my budget is, since we have 99 employees, staffing is always gonna see a, larger increase in most areas, because it's 3% is currently the budgeted amount, so times 99 employees adds up pretty quick. Otherwise, I'm trying to think what we're looking at. Replacement of a canine next year, so that costs some dollars, but also we have donation money and forfeiture money. So the intent there is to really utilize those funds to keep the costs down as far as replacing that dog. So you may have seen that in the notes. Otherwise, there are some state cuts. No real reason for it that I can think of, other than the fact that they are seeing a deficit. And it's not a result of any federal cuts as far as post-board reimbursement. Those dollars, I'm not sure why they're cutting them. Their Philando Castile Fund was put in place to help supplement the costs of training for law enforcement. And now we're seeing a decrease in those funds. So I don't know if that fund itself has decreased, there's less dollars available. But for 2026, we're gonna see a decrease of about $19,000 is what they're projecting. And then 2027, it might be an additional 19,000. So it's hard to say where it's going. These are all projections. So those kinds of things hurt, because obviously training of staff is a really important area. And when the state mandates training in quite a few different areas, they're unfunded mandates. And so that was the intent of the Philando Castile Fund, was to help with those unfunded mandates. And yet we're seeing a decrease there, and it's a little bit disheartening. Based on everything going on, I thought the legislature might think training was, and the governor might think training was an important area, but so it's one of those that's up in the air. Otherwise, I don't know. Is there a specific question that anyone has, or?
I've got one question that I'm just going to bounce off you, and that is, have you seen any cannabis effect since we've got cannabis being used here in the state of Minnesota? Have you noticed anything?
Nothing yet. I think it's still a little early to see it. As far as usage, we haven't necessarily seen an increase in usage, but it's pretty widely used drug to begin with, so, so really nothing yet, but it takes time for that. We've had DWIs, we have plenty of DWI arrests that are marijuana related. Unfortunately, with drug-related DWIs, there's typically more than one drug on board, and whether it be marijuana and alcohol, marijuana and methamphetamine, or any other blend you might come up with. So there's rarely just a straight, I shouldn't say rarely, but it's not unusual to see more than one drug on board for a drug-related DWI.
Yeah, we were just at a hospital conference, and the question was asked about, is it going to affect the healthcare industry, the legalization of cannabis? And they said, absolutely.
Will it affect what?
It will, the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Healthcare.
No, there'll be no question
Yeah.
about that. You know, the myth that marijuana is not addictive is a myth. And so somebody really did a good job of publicizing that back in the 60s and 70s, and people believe that. But that is a myth. And yes, we will see overdoses, we'll see children. I mean, when you can't buy a candy cigarette in the state of Minnesota, but you can buy gummy marijuana. It makes no sense to me. We've gone completely backwards. I'm not here to talk about marijuana, but if you take tobacco and compare it to marijuana, it's like, did we not learn anything here?
Right.
Night and day.
Yep.
So I'm amazed by it.
I am
but
too.
That's beside the point. My budget. So
All right, all right.
regarding my budget, we also, you know, we've been, one probably substantial increase is we have a need for an additional car, so that adds up pretty quickly. It's 53,000. I don't honestly, it's always a question for me where you want me to go with this. Is we try and make the decreases where we can, but unfortunately, there's always increases elsewhere. And so overall, feel good about the budget, but there are certainly some increases in it too. In jail, we've been updating our camera system in the jail, and there's a lot of cameras in the jail, so we have about 80 of them left to replace to get rid of all of our analog cameras so that we're all on a digital system. So that's been a project that's been ongoing and will continue. As far as our, I'm trying to come up with the right word, but doing our well-being checks, we've switched how those work and utilizing a different company. And the good thing about this is correctional officers can make on-the-spot notations, so blog while they're making their well-being checks. And so that system is an improvement in a lot of ways. It helps us reduce suicides, violent behavior, medical issues is a big part because every time they're doing a check, they're making observations, and if there's something noteworthy, it's being blogged immediately so that we have an ongoing documentation. Body cameras, that project is fully implemented in the jail. So now all correctional officers wear body cameras. I think we'll see the same results that we have on the road, is that a lot of complaints can be eliminated simply by watching the body camera video. And I also think I know it helps with behavior as far as when people know their behavior is being recorded, they tend to behave a little better. It doesn't eliminate all of it, but it does eliminate quite a bit. It's hard to actually, put that to a number because you don't know what's in their mind, and And so it's really hard to document how many altercations you might have avoided because of that. So, you know, cameras back when I was a young deputy were scary things, and it was Big Brother, but all I've seen over time is cameras have helped us, prevented a lot of liability issues because the conversations and the activity is recorded. So the jail, it's been helpful so far, and I expect that it'll continue to be.
Mr. Chair, I have a question. Troy, do those turn on automatically, or do they have to?
They kind of run theirs. Anytime they're going to have contact with an inmate, they're running that.
Okay.
It doesn't, now with the squad cameras, as soon as, if a deputy activates their red lights, it activates their in-squad camera plus their body camera. There's no automatic activation other than if you draw your taser. So correctional officers that have a taser set up to connect to the camera, that would be an automatic activation. Same with the deputies, but otherwise in the jail there isn't an automatic. It's you have to tap the camera to start it. But they run theirs quite a bit. It's probably quite a bit more footage than you see from a patrol deputy.
Follow-up question. How long do you keep that then?
As far as storage
Yeah.
of the
Video.
minimum of 6 months, it depends. If there's an incident, then we save it for
Yeah, that makes sense.
longer.
Okay.
If it's related to a court case, as far as, and the jail can be related, then we save it based upon those parameters. So there's quite a bit of storage of video evidence, but it's in the contract for the storage. So,
Thanks.
again, I don't know exactly where to go, but kind of have projects going on all over the
Sure,
place.
sure.
So,
Well, gas prices have been friendly.
yeah, those have been helpful.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
helped us decrease that line item a little
You
bit.
bet.
Because, yeah, they've been substantially less.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great. You got any questions for Troy? Anybody? Well, I'd say we'll keep her going.
All right.
All righty.
And then the last item is salary request. I submitted it to the questionnaire, or the answers to the questionnaire, to Lee Kaczmarek. And again, I just asked the board to give it some real thoughtful consideration as far as my experience. This next year will be my 20th year as sheriff, and my 39th year with the sheriff's office. So I have a variety of experience in those 39 years, and I guess I think I've demonstrated to the public and to the board that I'm very capable at my job, and fortunately, I have very good staff that helps make sure all of the things happen that need to happen to keep our county and the people that live, work, and play here safe. So it's always tough to do, you know, sit here and try and talk about myself. So.
Yeah. How have you found lake issues, boat issues? Have you had any uptick in that, or has that been pretty?
You know, our lakes have been very busy this summer, I'll say that, but it hasn't been,
Problem.
terrible as far as misbehavior, I guess we'll call it.
Good.
But it pretty, I mean, we always have some, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but the lakes, yeah, they've been very active, which is good.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, any questions for Troy? No?
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Troy.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the county attorneys
here to present themselves? Do you have anything to say? Yeah? But they're next.
Are you guys on Chad's behalf or?
Oh, you're not?
You're just.
Oh.
She said.
Okay, so if we move on to the next one, we're good then, right? Okay, thank you. All right, Vicki Doling.
All right, hello again. I've got my budget before you. It's always difficult for me to ask you to look at, the 2020 budget, 2025 budget compared to 2026 proposed, because this was a non-election year. Next year will be an election year, so I tend to look more at the 2024 year when I'm looking at what's my budget gonna be, but if you do compare it to 2025, it's a 60% increase, 60.5. But when you look at it compared to 2024, it's only a 1% increase. So I think I've put together a pretty conservative budget. All of my cuts have just been based off of spending habits in our department. We just don't seem to be spending as much as we've been budgeting, so I cut some there. Payroll, of course, is where probably the biggest increase is coming in. We've had less in-person trainings, so I've done some more cutback on like cost reimbursements for training and mileage and travel and that type of thing, because we've had a lot more webinar-based trainings. So really overall, I think it's very comparable to 2024, other than we have some payroll increases, but that offsets with some other spending cuts that I've made based off of spending history.
Any questions? Or Vicki?
Pretty fair now, it's difficult, like she says, every other year. So needs to look at if you're comparing from one year to the next because of the dang election. Thank you for everything you do, Vicki.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
So then on my salary request, again, I appreciate the board's support in the past. I feel very supported by you. I'm really just open to whatever you're willing to offer me as an increase. I did put in with my questionnaire with Shane, just the standard 3% increase is what I'm suggesting, but I appreciate your support and I know you'll do what's best for us elected officials. I appreciate that.
All righty. I do have a question for you. You mentioned earlier about using this space here for the is there an election, you said?
Yep, 2026, the early voting
Okay.
phase,
Okay.
18 days before the primary
Okay.
and the general.
Okay. So I guess if it's going to be here, I think we should think about maybe having the board meeting maybe at the old place instead of moving them out of here.
We moved around before when we
Yeah.
were remodeling, we were out at Public Works for a while.
True. So I'm just thinking that we should think about that before it gets to
thank
crunch
you.
time.
Let's plan ahead.
Yeah,
When we get the next.
Yeah,
one.
be the
We have
one
to be
meeting-
Plenty of notice.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you'll have to have it before January. Yeah, when you put out the new schedule for the new
Right.
year.
Right.
Yeah.
The location change, yeah.
So I think
So it'll
we
be the
need-
one meeting before the August primary, and then, so like, is that,
When's the August primary?
it's usually like the second
So it'd be
Tuesday.
the August 4th.
It's usually the second Tuesday in August,
Oh, that'd be the 11th.
and then it's the
Our
first
meeting would be
Tuesday.
the 4th.
Yeah, the first Tuesday in November for the general.
Gotcha.
But you have the previous, is that when you have it open for that early
18 days.
18
November
days? So you might miss a couple there.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that we think ahead. So like I said, we have it all done.
Yeah, I can work with Lee.
Yeah,
We'll
all right. Okay,
get those dates nailed down for you.
very good.
But any other questions on the budget,
Anybody?
salary?
Think we're good?
All right, thank you.
Thank you for what you do. And Mary, you are up next.
Good morning. Okay. First item is my budget proposal. This year's budget, I didn't really add in any additional line items or increases, substantial. Most are just increased in payroll, software maintenance usually increases every year. My budget increases about 5% over last year. The biggest driver, my office is a little bit fortunate, the biggest driver is income, right, from our services we provide. So that does pay for the vast majority of our office budget. I was able to increase our charges for services a little bit. I think real estate is rebounding a little bit. We're up about 13%. Year-to-date 2025 over 2024. So it's trending in the right direction.
Any questions?
I was just gonna ask, Mary, you do passports, right? Has there been an increase in the amount of passports being?
Yes, we have been very busy with passports. I kept our passport income stable, however, for 2026, just because 2025 so far and 2024 was very, very busy. A lot of that could probably be attributed to the Real ID requirement as well. So, but yes, our passport staff, we have 2 agents and they are booked almost every day. So they've been very busy.
And what's the turnaround time from?
Right now, regular processing is 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6.
And you can request expedited service for about 2 to 3 weeks right now.
What's that charge?
An additional $60 per application.
Not much if you're going to South Africa.
That's right.
He doesn't know what he speak of.
Okay, what else you got?
All right, so next item is my salary request. I did submit that to you along with my eval packet. I am requesting an increase of about 3.3%. And I have been with the county in the recorder's office. This is my 18th year with the recorder's office. This is actually, I'm in my 7th year as recorder. So, yeah. But I appreciate your consideration.
All right.
Yeah. And my last item, I am required by law to submit a compliance report with the board. This compliance report directly relates to our land records modernization account. That is a special account that $11 per recorded document gets set aside, and that's for improvement to the land records processes. In order to use that account, those funds in that account, we use that to pay for items like pictometry, aerial imaging, Esri, lots of GIS-related things as well. As long as we are in compliant with statute, we can have access to those funds. So my 2024 compliance report says that we are in compliance. I have to return all recorded paper documents within 10 days, all electronic recorded within 5 days. The total documents recorded for 2024 was 7,789, and 100% of those were returned in the required time frame. So I just submit the compliance report to the board for approval.
Okay. Board's wishes.
Mary does a good job.
It's an action item.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the recorder's 2024 compliance report.
Thank you, Shane.
A second.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other questions? Renee?
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
motion carries.
All
Thank you.
righty. Thank you. So I see, Chad, you are here. We got a little ahead of you there, so if you have something there, we're going to let you take over here.
All right, sounds good, Mr. Chair. With respect to my budget proposal, my office has 7 attorneys, 6 legal assistants, and 1 fraud investigator. My office this past year has transitioned away from our old case management system, which is called MCAPS, in favor of a new system called Prosecutor by Carpel. We still had to maintain our old MCAPS contract during the transition this past year. So my legal software and support line item is moving down almost 30,000 for next year as we sever that old contract. We've gone paperless for our case files, which took a bit of an adjustment for me. But for the most part, that's going really well, and I'm used to that now. Payroll is my largest expense. The numbers that you see in the budget report were provided to me and don't reflect the changes that I've proposed throughout the past year or more. I would ask to meet with the County Attorney Compensation Committee one last time before my budget is finalized. If that's something the board is willing to do, I would ask that we do that. I haven't heard back from the committee since our last meeting, and I believe it was in the spring. Since that time, I've lost another attorney to the Todd County Attorney's Office. I've been advised that Todd County has expanded their compensation ceiling for their attorneys, and I've just completed a couple of interviews to try to replace that prosecutor. I'm not going to belabor my concerns about maintaining a competitive position in the market. I know that this board has heard enough from me about that. I don't want to lose another attorney or a legal assistant because Douglas County can't be competitive with other counties or the public defender's office. And I think, as I had mentioned before, most of my legal assistants would get paid more if they quit and started working for the public defender's office. And that's not a good feeling to have as an employer. So I am looking for some increased compensation, both for my attorneys as well as my legal assistants. With respect to my salary, I will have 26 years experience as a lawyer and a prosecutor. I was elected in 2010, so this will be my 15th year as an elected county attorney. My current compensation is $157,850. The sheriff's is currently at $165,000. And as I mentioned last year, the sheriff deserves every cent that he makes, but it's unclear to me, given my responsibilities not only as the chief law enforcement officer in the county, but also my duties to other departments, why it seems I'm being devalued from a compensation perspective. Currently, as the board may be aware, Alamir contributes $46,400 for my service as general counsel. I don't see that money. It does not supplement my income. I'm proposing a 2026 salary of $165,000, which is the same figure that I asked for last year, and it's also the current salary of the sheriff. I'm proposing that the difference be taken from the Alamir annual contribution, which was originally meant for my salary. This means that the increase will not be felt by the taxpayer, as Alamir operates financially independent of taxpayer contribution. And Mr. Chair, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chad. Any questions for Chad? Anybody? All right. All righty, that was all informational, so we'll move on then to the Minnesota Department of Corrections. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Willie Swanson,
Okay.
District Supervisor, Department of Corrections, joined with Jared Tabor, who is my program.
All right,
clerk.
thank you, guys. Well, whoever wants to lead off, go ahead.
I'll take the
All
lead.
right.
So we're here presenting our budget, and I appreciate the flexibility and timing to allow for, not yesterday, but today. Thank you very much for that. The highlights from our budget that I want to point out, it looks different than it has in the past, and that is specifically in the state subsidy amount, which is increased and is now just over $1 million. It used to be about half of that, and the reason for that is we're including both the misdemeanor, gross misdemeanor office, which always was included. The felony office was provided by the state at the state expense, but that money was always there. So this is in an effort to be more transparent about the overall office structure, both the felony side and the misdemeanor side, which is why the state subsidy amount increased, as well as the agent salary amount increased. So the agent salary amount increased from $386,000 to just over $876,000, but that's again because we're including both offices now. We have currently 7 agents, 4 support staff. So that's all included in the $876,000 amount for our staff. The other amount that increased was the management admin line, which I believe is line 9. That is now at $208,000. That includes myself, it includes Program Director Tabor, it includes all of the central office structure from the Director of Field Services to the regional managers, and those amounts are billed at how many staff you have in your office. So each DOC office pays a percentage of that based on the staff that we have in those offices. The overall, after you look at all of the information included, the amount paid by Douglas County for our services is $131,933. That's the proposal for this coming year. The billing procedure is going to change as well. It used to be that Douglas County would receive the subsidy amount and then be billed back for that amount. They're going to change that to the subsidy amount won't come, you'll just receive 2 bills a year. So you'll receive a $65,000 bill twice per year to cover the other amounts. And that process is being changed by central office in an effort to sort of streamline the process and make it not money changing hands over here and over there just to bill you back. So those are some management changes that are proposed to happen this year. The overall numbers that we look at may change at some point in the future for staff, because there's a conversation happening. Are we going to bill staff to Douglas County based on the average cost of an employee versus the actual, which for us is going to benefit us because we have lots of senior staff. If that happens, the amount Douglas pays will come down, and I would update the board with that information when that becomes official. But as of now, this is the current billing structure that we have. I make the motion for the board to review this. Are there any questions about the bill and the budget from Department of Corrections?
Mr. Chair, I got a question. Jill, did you have any questions on that? Did you understand what he was saying? Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead and continue then.
That's my.
That was it?
floor
All righty.
points.
All righty. Anything else?
No, Mr.
No?
Chair.
Okay. Guys, got any questions? All righty.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, and then we have Labor Negotiations Committee appointments. And I guess we need action on that. And believe it was Tim and Jeff on that? Who did that?
I thought it was
Shane and Jeff.
Shane and Jeff.
Shane and Jeff, yeah.
I'm okay with Tim if you want.
Yeah. Well, it's up to you guys. I mean, you got her if you, that's how
I don't want to be because I was a former employee.
Okay, okay. All right. Then the
You need to
2-2.
make the appointments, Jerry.
Already, well, I mean, I think.
Just did.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So we need a motion to approve Shane and Jeff as the Labor Negotiations Committee appointments.
I'll make that motion.
All right.
I'll second it.
Okay, Tim got it, and Charlie seconded it. And any other questions? Lene, please.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, then we move to per diem
Okay.
approval.
7-1, we had a commissioner meeting here. And then on the 8th, I had the planning and zoning meeting. On the 10th, we had a special meeting at the flood board committee because we got to replace a culvert on the flood board area. Then on the 15th, we had commissioner meeting and work session. And on the 15th, I also had a fair board meeting. We were getting ready for the fair. They discussed a lot of stuff, and they were gonna have, I think it was last night, the board was gonna go out and do cleanup at the fairgrounds. Then on the 17th, I had West Central Juvenile Detention Center in Moorhead. And then on the way back, I had another meeting in Fergus Falls, well, for Economic Development District. They pay my mileage. On the 21st, we had a Glacial Ridge Trail meeting in Glenwood. 25th was a hospital board meeting. 28th, I had Lakeland Mental Health in Fergus Falls, and they pay my per diem and mileage. 28th also was JD2 meeting at Public Works in Alec here. And then on the 30th, Shane and I had Public Works coffee meeting in the morning, which we do monthly with 2 commissioners. And then the 30th was Minnesota Hospital Association Conference in Nisswa. And then on the 31st, Minnesota Hospital Association Conference. And then on 8/1, August 1st, we finished up the Minnesota Hospital Association Conference.
Thank you, Tim. Charlie?
7-1 commissioner meeting here, 7-2. Had a library meeting with Quist and Lee, building committee, questioning getting to their RFPs. The 3rd, Public Works at 9 a.m. for coffee. 8th, we had the hospital meeting. 5:01 on the 9th, LGCC committee at 9. 10th, Rainbow Rider out in Lowry. 14th, Horizon, Public Health. 15th, Commissioner meeting and work session here. On the 16th, that one was with, about the land that the school board owns. It's sort of a deal with the county. And then on the 17th, we had a regular monthly meeting with Pope Douglas. The 22nd, hospital safety meeting and executive committee meeting. 7 a.m. that started. 23rd, we had the library meeting with the full board here, and Tim Erickson and a few other people to go over how they go after an RFP to get started on their architects and then project manager for their new proposal. The 24th, hospital finance meeting. 25th, hospital board meeting. 28th, ditch meeting, JD2 out at Public Works. And on the 30th, Armor Radio meeting at St. Cloud City Hall.
Jerry, I got a question for Charlie.
Yes.
What's happening with Rainbow Rider building?
We have a groundbreaking Monday morning.
Okay.
10 a.m. out on the site, getting next to, and that I was going to announce today, but thank you, that's good.
I was just wondering because I haven't heard any more.
We've been waiting on the contractors, they can get rolling finally. It's
Okay.
Norson,
Oh, yeah. Brainerd?
that sounds right, Norson Company, but it is at 10 a.m., everybody welcome. We're at Horizon, but, you know, maybe we can leave, Bob. It is Monday morning at 10 out on the site. It's across from Massman, you know.
Yeah,
we
to the
bought
north of Massman.
north of Massman, the 10 acres right there is what,
Okay.
yeah, plenty,
By the sewer
plenty of
plant.
land.
Oh, okay, okay,
Right by the sewer plant.
okay.
I know the question is on the Pope Douglas, if Pope Douglas should pay that or if the board would pay that. I don't, the per diem, that was on the land deal. I don't know, Shane was there. We were
I had
behalf
2
of the
meetings
county,
that
to
day,
be
so I only
honest.
got one, but it's actually a county issue. It's not a.
Yeah, it's more of a county issue than it is a Pope Douglas issue, so.
Correct. So I think it should be approved.
I will deal that at the
Yep.
end. All right. Okay, you got that one. I will move on to mine here. 7-1, regular meeting. 7-3, we had a road update. Public Works, 7-7, Sauk River Watershed. That was in Osakis there. 7-10, Public Information Officer meeting. 7-14, had a Horizon. 7-15, regular meeting and work session here. 7-15, Sauk River Watershed in Sauk Center. 7-17, we had a LIC meeting. 7-23, another Sauk River Watershed meeting. And 7-24, we had a hospital finance meeting. 7-25, hospital regular meeting. And 7-28, we had the JD2 meeting at Public Works. So that is mine. Move on to Shane.
Ready? On July 9th, I had LGCC local updates with School District 206. Also, I will not be collecting a per diem because I had a Pope Douglas Solid Waste Recycling Committee meeting, which they pay. On 7/10, I had the PIO meeting. 7/14, Horizon Health monthly meeting, they pay. 7/15th, county board meeting, bi-monthly and work session. On the 15th, Viking Library discussed the budget, and they were looking for a 1% increase. On 7/16, I had that same meeting with Charlie on the School District 206, meeting with them on Pope Douglas. And then on the 16th, I met with Troy and the Sheriff's Office, working with them on the command vehicle. So I'm looking for that. On the 17th, Pope Douglas Solid Waste Monthly Meeting, they pay. 21st was open line, Douglas County Information, we did that day. On the 22nd, Alamir Health Executive Committee meeting. 7/23, Ag Extension. 24th, Task Force on Aging. Also, we had a library meeting that day on the 24th. It was pushed back a week. 7/25, Alamir Health Monthly Meeting. On the 30th, Public Works, where we had public work updates with Tim and I. And then on the 31st, PIO meeting with Julie.
Thank you. Shane? Jeff?
On the 27th, the hospital board meeting, the 1st of July county board meeting, the 7th, soil and water conservation and monthly board meeting, Kensington Council meeting, public relations, Rainbow Rider monthly board meeting, Leaf Valley Township meeting, public relations, Evansville Council meeting, public relations, the 15th of July county board meeting, and then the work session after the board meeting. The 16th, the Region 4 mental health meeting, they paid a per diem and mileage. And then the 7/22nd, West Central Community Action via Zoom. And then the 23rd, the Douglas County Water Quality Legacy Fund at the Public Works. The 23rd, here's the Douglas County Extension Committee meeting, the quarterly meeting. And then on the 24th, is to meet your representative. I was on the panel at Garfield with the local representatives and the city council. And then the 25th, the Alamir Hospital Board meeting. And then the 30th to the August 1st, the Minnesota Hospital Association Trustee Conference at Breezy Point.
All righty, thank you. So we have a couple of questions here, guys. What do you want to do?
I think Jeff's, meet your representative, we should, that's.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, if I'm looking at this right, on 7/23, the 7/20, oh, I said 7/24.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the Tolan Hall meeting.
I get it.
They had, they had all them there, not just
Yep.
Garfield.
Yep.
City.
All right,
The other one is on our, Shane and I. So
okay.
you guys, we felt, I guess we'll be compensated either way, but we thought it's county business more so than Pope Douglas. That's on the land.
Yep, I would have to say it's valid.
And I wrote it down, but I'm taking mine, spending my time with the sheriff's office. We went in there and looked at their new command vehicles, so we want a county representative on there.
Yes. All right. So then we need,
I'll make a motion, cover.
And I second.
thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Jeff. Lene?
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And then we have items from the floor. Anybody have any item from the floor? If not,
I've got just one thank you on behalf of the Rotary Club. Today is our final concert this evening. Connie Holmes.
weather looks good so far.
Julie says it's going to be a beautiful evening. So,
All right.
on behalf of the club, we've enjoyed Park, that's for sure.
All right,
Gone
great,
well. Yeah,
great.
like 4,500 there last week.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, then we adjourn. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. So Shane and Jeff, line A, please.
Meyer.
Yep.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp.
Yes.
Way.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you.